Life as a neurodivergent or autism parent may not be ordinary for everyone, but it's your NeurOrdinary. This is your space to find resilience, self-care, and maybe even a little bit of peace. Because when you care for yourself, you care for everything that matters most. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of NeurOrdinary. I'm Karen Casso, your self-care and resilience coach, and today we're diving into a question I get asked all the time. What's the best way to recharge after a meltdown? Whether it's your child's, yours, or let's be honest, both. If you're tuning in, you probably had one of those days where the intensity of a meltdown leaves you emotionally drained and physically exhausted. Whether it's your child navigating sensory overload or you hitting your breaking point, meltdowns take a toll on us all. And let's face it, recovering from them is just as important as surviving through them. In this episode, we're going to explore how to recharge after a meltdown. I'll share 5 practical strategies you can use to reset and recover, along with a healthy dose of encouragement to remind you that it's okay to take care of yourself first. By the end of our time together, I hope you'll walk away with tools to help you navigate these tough moments and the confidence to embrace self-care without guilt. Let me share a quick personal moment to sort of get us started. I remember a very specific day my family had a few years ago. My one kiddo had a massive meltdown right before we were supposed to leave for an appointment. By the time it was over, we were both in tears, running really late, and my stress level was through the roof. I spent the rest of the day feeling frazzled and on edge. That night, as I sat on the couch with the untouched cup of tea I had brewed 13 hours earlier, I realized I didn't have a plan for recharging. I just kept running on empty, hoping that the next moment of calm would come to me. And spoiler alert, that's not how it works. What I learned that day and what I'll share with you now is that recovery is intentional. Whether it's a 2-minute pause or a full evening reset, the steps you take after a meltdown matter. So let's dive in. Step number 1. The first step after any meltdown, whether it's yours or your child's, is to ground yourself. Meltdowns are overwhelming for everyone involved, and your nervous system needs time to calm down before you can focus on anything else. Start with a grounding exercise that works for you. One technique I recommend is the 5-4-3-2-1 method. Look around the room and name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. For example, if you're sitting at your kitchen table after a meltdown, you might notice the pattern of the wood grain on the floor, feel the cool surface of the table underneath your hands, and hear the faint hum of the refrigerator. These small observations pull you back into the present moment and help regulate your nervous system. And here's why it works. Grounding shifts your focus away from the chaos and brings you back to a state of calm. It's an essential first step before tackling anything else. And if you feel too upset to focus on grounding, start small. Even just placing your feet flat on the ground, closing your eyes, and taking 3 deep breaths can make a difference. Because grounding isn't about erasing the stress, it's about giving your body and mind the chance to reset and begin the recovery process. Step 2, after a meltdown, your sensory system, or your child's, can feel overstimulated. It's what caused the meltdown in the first place. Prioritizing sensory recovery can help both of you return to balance. Think about what soothes your senses. For your child, this might mean wrapping them in a weighted blanket, dimming the lights, or playing calming music. For you, it might look like stepping outside for fresh air, soaking your hands in some warm water, or diffusing a relaxing essential oil. One mom that I worked with kept a sensory reset kit for herself and her child. It included noise-canceling headphones, a lavender-scented stress ball, and a small bottle of bubbles. She told me it's amazing how something so simple can stop the spiral of overstimulation for both of us. And here's why it works. Sensory recovery helps your nervous system process and release the tension built up during a meltdown. And if you're thinking, I don't have time to focus on sensory needs after a meltdown, start by keeping it simple. Even 1 minute of engaging with something soothing, like holding a warm mug or lying under a cozy blanket, can help. Remember, addressing sensory needs isn't just for your child. You deserve the same care and consideration too. Tip number 3, reflect, don't ruminate. After the storm has passed, it's natural to replay the meltdown in your mind. But there's a fine line between reflecting to learn and ruminating in a way that drains you further. Reflection involves asking gentle, open-ended questions like, what triggered this meltdown? Or what might help next time? It's about understanding and not blaming yourself or anyone else. For instance, one dad I coached realized through reflection that his child's meltdowns often happen right before dinner. By shifting their family's dinner routines to be slightly earlier and adding a quiet activity beforehand, he was able to prevent some of the stress that led to the meltdowns. Here's why reflection works. It helps you identify patterns and solutions, and it empowers you to handle future challenges with more confidence. If you, like me, worry that you overanalyze everything, set a time limit for reflection. Spend just 5 to 10 minutes thinking about what happened, jot down any insights, and then move on. Reflection isn't about finding the perfect solution. It's about learning and growing one step at a time. Replenish your energy, because after a meltdown, your energy reserves are likely depleted. Replenishing that energy is crucial, not just for you, but for your ability to show up for your family. Replenishment can look different for everyone. For some, it's as simple as drinking a glass of water and having a healthy snack. For others, it might mean stepping outside for a brisk walk or texting or calling a friend to talk. Here's where the Thrive in 5 SOS toolkit comes in. It's packed with quick, effective strategies to help you recharge emotionally and physically. It also includes a bonus meltdown recovery guide. Whether you have 5 minutes or a whole afternoon, the toolkit has something for you. And you can find the link to download your copy in the show notes below. Here's why it works. Taking intentional steps to refill your energy tank prevents burnout and helps you recover faster. And if you feel guilty taking time for yourself, reframe self-care as family care. When you're recharged, you're better equipped to support your loved ones. Replenishing your energy isn't indulgent. It is essential. And finally, build resilience through micro moments. One of the most impactful ways to recharge after a meltdown, whether it's yours or your child's, is to incorporate resilience-building practices into your daily life. These micro moments of self-care are like planting tiny seeds, and over time, they grow into a strong foundation of emotional stability. Think of them as your personal reset button, ready to help you recover more quickly when life throws challenges your way. So, what are micro moments? They're simply brief, intentional actions that help ground you, recharge your energy, or shift your perspective. They don't require hours of free time or a complete lifestyle overhaul, just a minute here or there in the tiny pockets of your day. For example, one mom I work with started practicing gratitude for just 1 minute each morning while waiting for her coffee to brew. She'd mentally list 3 things she appreciated, no matter how small they seemed. Some days it was as simple as, this coffee smells amazing, my kiddo slept well last night, or the sun is shining today. It wasn't about finding grand gestures, but about shifting her focus to the positives, even in the midst of her chaos. Over time, that 1-minute practice became her anchor, a small ritual that helped her face the day with a bit more clarity and calm. Another dad I coached used a quick breathing exercise in the car after dropping his kids off at school. He'd sit for, again, just 1 minute, inhale deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and then exhale for a count of 6. This simple practice helped him transition from the stress of the morning routine to the rest of his day. It's amazing how much difference even 1 minute can make. He told me he felt like he was giving himself permission to pause instead of just running on fumes. And here's why micro moments work. Because resilience is about avoiding hard days. It's about learning how to bounce back from them. And micro moments of self-care equip you with the tools to do just that. Think of them like drops in a bucket. On their own, each drop may feel small, but as you practice consistently, those drops accumulate into a reservoir of strength and stability. Micro moments also help retrain your brain. By intentionally creating small moments of calm or positivity, you're teaching your brain to notice and respond to these opportunities more naturally. Over time, you'll probably find that you're better able to manage tough moments without feeling so overwhelmed. So, how do you start? If you're not sure where to begin, the key is to start small and keep it simple. Choose one practice that feels manageable and commit to doing it consistently. For instance, you could try gratitude journaling. Before bed, jot down one positive thing that happened during the day, no matter how minor it was. Maybe it's a kind word from a stranger, a moment of quiet, or your child trying something new. You could try mindful breathing. Set an alarm on your phone to remind you to take a 1-minute reset breath during the day. Pair it with an existing habit like brushing your teeth or waiting for water to boil for tea. Celebrate quick wins. Just congratulate yourself for one thing you did well today. It could be as simple as staying calm during a tough moment or even making it through the day. Write it down, say it out loud, or reflect on it quietly. And here's the beauty of micro moments. They don't have to look the same every day. One day it might be you're stepping outside for fresh air. Another, it could be savoring your cup of tea or even listening to your favorite song for a few minutes. The goal isn't perfection, it's intention and progress. And it's easy to think, what's the point? 1 minute won't change anything, Karen. But the truth is, resilience is built one small step at a time. Each time you take a moment for yourself, no matter how brief, you are reinforcing the idea that you matter and that your well-being is worth the effort. These micro moments are also an opportunity to model resilience for your family. When your kids see you pausing to breathe, expressing gratitude, or finding joy in small moments, you're teaching them that it's okay to care for themselves too. So start small, choose one practice, and commit to it for a week. Notice how it feels to carve out even the tiniest space for yourself in the midst of a busy day. Over time, these small moments will add up and they create a ripple effect that strengthens your resilience and brings more calm into your life. So now let's wrap it up. We'll recap the 5 steps to recharging after a meltdown. Number 1, ground yourself first. When emotions are high, grounding yourself is the first step to beginning finding balance again. Techniques like the 5-4-3-2-1 method will help you reconnect with the present moment by engaging your senses. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It's a simple activity, but it works like a reset button for your brain, pulling you out of the whirlwind of stress. Tip 2, prioritize sensory recovery. Your nervous system takes a hit during a meltdown, whether it's your child's or your own. And sensory recovery is about soothing your body and mind. Wrap yourself in a cozy or weighted blanket, turn on calming music, or step outside for a breath of fresh air. Even something simple as small as holding a warm cup of tea can be incredibly grounding. These moments aren't just about comfort, they're about giving your body what it needs to reset and recharge. Tip 3, reflect, don't ruminate. After the storm passes, it's easy to get stuck replaying what went wrong or second-guessing your actions. But reflection is about learning, not self-blame. Ask yourself questions like, what triggered this meltdown, or what helped us move through it? This approach allows you to grow from the experience rather than being weighed down by it. Remember, every hard moment is a chance to discover more and do better next time, not a reflection of any type of failure. Tip 4, you want to replenish your energy because recovery isn't just emotional, it's physical too. Take intentional actions to refuel yourself. That could mean hydrating, eating something nourishing, or even sitting in quiet for a few moments. Self-care doesn't have to be elaborate. Sometimes just stepping outside for 3 deep breaths or lying down for 5 minutes is enough to start rebuilding your energy reserves. And finally, build resistance through micro moments. Because resilience isn't built in big leaps, it's built in tiny, consistent steps. And these micro moments of self-care, like practicing gratitude, doing a 1-minute reset breath, or jotting down a positive couple of thoughts, add up over time. Each small action strengthens your ability to navigate challenges and bounce back faster. Parenting through meltdowns is some of the hardest work there is. It is emotionally draining, physically exhausting, and often very isolating. But I want you to remember something. You are not alone, and you are doing the best that you can. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to need a break. And it is absolutely okay to prioritize yourself. Because here's the truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. And when you take care of yourself, you're not just helping yourself. You're creating the emotional and physical capacity to support your family in the ways they need most. If today's episode resonated with you, I want to invite you to grab my Thrive in 5 SOS Toolkit. It's a free resource packed with quick, effective strategies to help you recharge even on your hardest days. Plus, inside you'll find tools like grounding exercises, sensory recovery tips, and a bonus Meltdown recovery guide designed specifically for moments like these. You can download it using the link in the show notes below and start building your resilience one step at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I know how precious your time is, and I hope that this episode gave you practical tools and encouragement to navigate those hard days with more grace and confidence. Until next week, remember, you're stronger than you think, and you're doing an amazing job. Every meltdown you navigate, every small act of self-care, and every moment of connection with your kiddo and your family is a testament to your resilience. Keep showing up for yourself and your family, and never forget, you got this. Thanks for tuning into the NeurOrdinary podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday, so be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more amazing neurodivergent and autism parents like you. Found this episode helpful? Share it with a friend who could use these insights. And as always, keep it spicy.